Hey everyone, welcome back. We love a good mystery, don't we? Especially those that seem to reach across time itself. Think about it. What if people who lived thousands of years ago, people who walked the earth long before electricity or the internet, somehow caught glimpses of world? And not just vague ideas, but specifics about technology, global events, even the names of key figures in history. Sounds like science fiction, right? Well, join me as we dive into the fascinating world of ancient prophecy, where myth, history, and what seems like uncanny foresight collide. Since the dawn of civilization, humans have sought to pierce the veil of the future. We crave knowledge of what's to come, a roadmap through the unknown. Across history, prophecies have served as both warnings and blueprints, offering glimpses into potential destinies. These messages, etched in stone, scribed on ancient scrolls, or passed down through generations by word of mouth, claim to foresee the fate of individuals, civilizations, even the entire planet. Think about the sheer variety of forms these prophecies have taken. Cryptic pronouncements from oracles, visions received by prophets and mystics, even patterns and cycles observed in the natural world. These predictions were often intertwined with religious or spiritual beliefs, adding another layer of complexity. But how were these prophecies recorded and transmitted across millennia? How did they survive the ravages of time, wars, and the rise and fall of empires? We'll explore the methods of preservation, from oral traditions and clay tablets to the painstaking copying of manuscripts by scribes. And perhaps most intriguingly, we'll examine why some of these ancient prophecies, despite their often symbolic and open-ended language, seem to resonate with startling accuracy in the modern world. Get ready to decode the past and contemplate the future as we delve into the intriguing realm of prophecy. Let's start by considering something that always captures the imagination: technology. Could people from a time when the most advanced technology was a water wheel or a sundial really have conceived of things like smartphones, airplanes, or artificial intelligence? Well, let's take a trip back to ancient Babylon over 2,500 years ago. The prophet Ezekiel describes a vision of wheels within wheels descending from the heavens, accompanied by strange creatures. Now, these visions were undoubtedly complex and laden with symbolism. But some modern interpreters have suggested that these descriptions, if taken literally, could be interpreted as advanced flying machines, perhaps even spacecraft. And it's not just the Bible. Across the globe, ancient Hindu scriptures like the Vimana Shastra describe flying chariots called vimanas with astonishing detail, outlining their construction, propulsion systems, and even weaponry. These descriptions, while fantastical to the people of that time, bear a striking resemblance to modern aircraft, right down to the use of mercury as a potential fuel source. Now I know what you're thinking. Is this just a case of finding patterns where none exist? Are we simply projecting our modern understanding onto ancient texts? Or could it be that our ancestors, through observation, intuition, or perhaps even some form of extrasensory perception, glimpsed technologies far beyond their comprehension? It's a question that's sure to spark debate. Throughout history, natural disasters have shaped civilizations, instilling both awe and terror. From devastating earthquakes and volcanic eruptions to tsunamis that reshape coastlines, these events have left an indelible mark on the human psyche. And it's no surprise that prophecies across cultures often focus on such cataclysmic events. Many ancient texts, from the Bible to Norse mythology, speak of great floods, earthquakes that split the earth, and fires that consume all in their path. These prophecies often served as warnings, a reminder of the power of nature and the fragility of human existence. Take, for example, the Mayan calendar, a complex system of cycles and epochs. While often misinterpreted as predicting the end of the world in 2012, the Mayan calendar actually speaks of cycles of creation and destruction, of periods of upheaval and renewal. Some scholars believe that these cycles correspond to natural phenomena like solar flares, volcanic activity, or even shifts in the Earth's magnetic field. And when we look at the world today, we see a pattern of increasing natural disasters, from more frequent and intense hurricanes to rising sea levels and widespread drought. Is this simply a result of human-caused climate change? Or could it be that our ancestors, through careful observation of natural cycles, foresaw these events centuries ago? Now let's shift our focus from the natural world to the realm of human interaction, to the interconnectedness of our modern world. Even in ancient times when travel was arduous and communication limited, there seemed to be an awareness that the world was shrinking, that people and ideas would one day flow across borders with ease. The Bible, for example, speaks of a time when many shall run to and fro and knowledge shall increase. Daniel 12:4. This passage, often interpreted in a religious context, could also be seen as a prediction of the information age, where knowledge spreads at the speed of light through the internet, connecting people across continents in an instant. Similarly, ancient Greek philosophers like Socrates and Plato envisioned a future where knowledge would be shared freely, where education and critical thinking would be paramount. This ideal, though perhaps not a prophecy in the traditional sense, speaks to a deep-seated human desire for connection, for the breaking down of barriers and the sharing of ideas. And when we look at the world today, we see this vision realized in many ways. The internet has become a global marketplace of ideas, a virtual library of Alexandria accessible to anyone with a connection. We can communicate with people on the other side of the world in real time, sharing news, culture, and perspectives in ways that were unimaginable just a few decades ago. Sadly, the human story is as much a chronicle of conflict as it is of progress. From the Peloponnesian War to the Crusades to the world wars of the 20th century, humanity seems perpetually locked in cycles of violence and destruction. And it's no surprise that predictions of war and unrest feature prominently in ancient prophecies. The Bible, for instance, in the book of Revelation, describes a future marked by widespread warfare, famine, and pestilence. While often interpreted in a religious context as the end times, these prophecies could also be seen as timeless warnings about the destructive nature of conflict and the potential for humanity to self-destruct. Similarly, the prophecies of Nostradamus, a 16th century French astrologer and physician, are rife with predictions of war and upheaval. His cryptic quatrains, written in a mix of French, Latin, and Greek, have been interpreted in countless ways, often linked to specific historical events. Now I know what you're thinking. Prophecies of war are a bit of a safe bet, aren't they? After all, conflict has been a constant throughout history. But what's striking is the level of detail in some of these predictions, the specific descriptions of weaponry, tactics, and even the names of key figures. Okay, let's get to the really intriguing part. The prophecies that seem eerily specific, the ones that name names, pinpoint dates, and describe events with uncanny accuracy. These are the predictions that make you wonder if our ancestors had access to information that transcends the boundaries of time. Take, for example, Nostradamus' prediction of the rise of Hitler. Now Nostradamus was writing in the 16th century, yet this name bears a striking resemblance to Hitler, the dictator who would plunge the world into war centuries later. Coincidence? Perhaps. But it's a coincidence that has fueled endless debate and speculation. Then there's the Oracle of Delphi, the priestess at the Temple of Apollo in ancient Greece, who was believed to channel prophecies from the god Apollo. The oracle's pronouncements, often cryptic and open to interpretation, were nevertheless sought after by kings and generals seeking guidance on matters of war and state. And history is replete with stories of individuals who claim to have accurately predicted their own deaths, from Abraham Lincoln to Mark Twain. Were these simply cases of premonition, a heightened sense of intuition, or is there something more at play? So, where does this leave us? Are we simply wired to find patterns, even in randomness? Is the human brain, in its constant search for meaning, predisposed to see prophecies where none exist? Or could it be that there's more to the universe than we currently understand, that the boundaries of time and perception are more fluid than we realize? These are questions that have fascinated philosophers, theologians, and scientists for centuries. And while we may never have definitive answers, exploring these mysteries can teach us about history, culture, and the power of the human mind. Perhaps our ancestors, through careful observation of human nature and the cyclical patterns of history, were able to extrapolate into the future, to see the potential consequences of our actions and the recurring themes that shape our world. Or perhaps there's something more at play, something that defies our current understanding of the universe and our place within it. Perhaps consciousness itself is not bound by the constraints of time, and some individuals through heightened awareness or spiritual insight are able to tap into a realm of knowledge that transcends the linear flow of time. Whether you view these ancient prophecies as literal predictions, symbolic warnings, or simply products of the human imagination, there's no denying their enduring power to fascinate and provoke. They offer a glimpse into the hopes and fears of our ancestors, their understanding of the world, and their place within the grand tapestry of time. And as we stand at the cusp of a new era, shaped by technology, globalization, and the ever-present potential for both progress and destruction, perhaps these ancient prophecies can serve as guideposts, reminding us of the cyclical nature of history, the importance of wisdom and foresight, and the boundless potential of the human spirit. Thank you for joining me on this journey through prophecy and time. If this video sparked your curiosity, subscribe for more mysteries decoded with insight and integrity.